I stood in the gap for him. All this thing he's doing with me now is because there are a lot of stupid people around him. The person that is running his 12-star, they're all stupid, they're all a bunch of scallywags, including Benjamin. Benjamin needs help because they won't give him the right choice advice. And you see, Yoruba said, they said, Ogbon Oloogun Njapa Gbanwere, but àwọn people yóò lọ́gbọ́n gidi. So àgbà ti dàbí Ọlọ́run ẹ̀ka gba máa ṣe èrè. Tágbà tó jẹ́ kó bá máa parọ́ mọ́yàn, you know, those kind of things. So if I lie upon Prophet Marcus on this matter, may God punish me. This is the Holy Quran, this is the Holy Bible. These are the most decent book in the world. The Holy Quran and the Holy Bible. He said, one day I channel goni, one day I could channel go get it to church. I said, sir, number one, I want saw room ko be fún yín. Olórí burúkú ni wọ́n. I said, because èmi ni mo ní channel mi. Olórí burúkú ni wọ́n. Then number two, sir, wọ́n ti poko ìbànújẹ́, Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ kẹ́ gbé mú. Nígbà tí mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní interview ní 2012, tí mi ò ń gba kọ́bọ̀ dèní, tí mi ò ń gbowó lọ́wọ́ yín, mi ò ń gbowó camera, mi ò ń gbowó editing, mi ò ń gbowó anything lọ́wọ́ yín, mi ò ń gbowó production. Mo ní ṣé wọ́n lè ṣerú ẹ̀ tí wọ́n ń sọ̀rọ̀ ńsìn torí pé wọ́n rí pé àti a subscriber wa ti increase àti earn a lè sanwó staff comfortably, wọ́n wá ń sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n pò yín nú pọ̀. When Egbeji was alive, Egbeji was the one that had that kind of followers, and Tibetan was fighting the man. In fact, before the man died, Tibetan told me that he's going to die. He told me in fact, few weeks to his death, he said, I was like, and I couldn't tell the old man because I was thinking the old man should be spiritual enough to know. He was telling me, and he was always fighting me on Egbeji. And do you know the irony? I will call Baba Egbeji and give him phone to greet the Baba. He said, Bami, Akimi, Akimi.
You know, if any type of trouble, anything interferes with my dad, there's always a way for him to get out of that situation and make it better for himself, even though it's not a good situation. So troubleshooting is the best way. If people know what that means, that's the best way I can describe my dad. Very troubleshooting man. Anything comes near him or that he wants to do harm to him, we reverse and come better in his own. Yeah.
His advantage.
To his own advantage, yeah.
But every time he was hitting me, he was even preaching it in the church. That how can I don't know the kind of journalism he wanted to practice. Is journalism not for everybody? I didn't know why he was fighting Egbeji. Because eventually after Egbeji died, there was another man, a traditional man that we met, that we interviewed, Shegun Aladikoyi. That one died mysteriously. But when we heard about the whole thing, it's shocking. If we decide to release the voice notes, the interview, Tibetan will not be able to walk on the streets. They will stone him. And it's evil. Why do you do that? So, in that May, Tibetan tried a strategy to take my channel. You can imagine. He just said, Alagbenga Ipele. Then I greeted him as Ipele sir. He said, hey, Joe, Papa, go live. If we password channel as Asabi Africa. And I said, sir, kill sir. He said, if we password channel so that Papa go live. And I said, password channel me. Just like that. Now let's get back to Prophet Tibetan proper. I explained this to you because I don't want to waste your time. I just want you to know that people try to steal your achievements and they are claiming, they say they are the one that did it. I said I met Prophet Tibetan in 2012, and it was apparent that he needed help. We needed to upgrade, we needed to promote, we needed to celebrate. He was a backstreet prophet who needed so much hype for limelight. And I remember sometimes in 2015, something happened. I said I met Prophet Tibetan in 2012, and it was apparent that he needed help. We needed to upgrade, we needed to promote, we needed to celebrate. He was a backstreet prophet who needed so much hype for limelight. And I remember sometimes in 2015, something happened. From 2012 that I met him to 2013 to 2014, I didn't collect money. I do everything free. The cameras free, the video free, everything is free. Now, in 2015, his mother passed away, and he told us, he said he wanted us to cover it. That was around December. They wanted us to cover it. He wanted to pay city people, because in those days I was freelancing for city people. I started freelancing in 2012, and I stopped in 2017. And why I stopped, it was Tibetan. That's the reason why I stopped. So he said his mother was going to be buried and all that. And I told him, I said, okay, please, can you pay us just a token sum of 75,000? We put the story to the people, then we put a bit of it on a Saudi Africa blog. We definitely cover pictures, pictorial, because at that time we didn't have YouTube. And he agreed. He said, Then a day to that event, just a day for him to travel to Ode Aye, his PA then, Mr. Ola, who I learned worked there for 7 years, was not paid. He was just put in one house there until a very good Samaritan, Dr. G.D.A of London, decided to help that young man to become successful. Now, the Ola called me and said, Baba ni I only for 75, she will manage 15,000. And I was like, 75,000 to 15,000. What kind of nonsense is that? I said, that's I'm a cameraman. I'm a cameraman. I'm a moto. And the guy said, Baba ni tell you why rice. And I said, King why rice? I said, I can always cook rice in my house. In fact, I can always buy rice in any locality. I can buy rice in any place and eat the rice. I said, so me won't lose event last in I go and do my job. Even those who know me, city people, they know that anywhere I find myself, I do my job. Ask Chief Dele Momodu. I've worked with him, not as a staff, but as a freelancer, as a contributor. I've submitted heavy sum of stories to Ovation. And in most cases, Bobby will just call me and say, Benga, that is a powerful interview. Your loss accounts come for any income. And sometimes I go there, I pick a check of 50,000. At times I pick maybe 30,000. At times, if I'm lucky, I may pick something upward. So that was how I was living my life. For Shayo Day, week in, week out, he gives me not less than 10,000 to survive in those days as I was freelancing. But I was at liberty to bring any amount of stories. So I told Ola, I said, we can't cover but luckily that week, I did a story on my friend, Abijami Abiola, whose wife put to bed their fourth child. And we covered the event, and I gave it to Shayo Day, the publisher of City People, Mr. Shayo Day, the publisher of City People, who was very gracious enough to use it, because in most cases he does not use those kind of stories. At times we just burst your bubble, he will burst your anticipation, he will just make you go moody. But luckily that Monday he used the story, and I was like, and I told Jamie, and you know, as usual, our people, the way they are with gratitude, Jamie sent a handsome sum of 25,000 to my account, and I was like, oh, this is fantastic. So I called Ola. In fact, I called him a day before. I didn't even see that money, because it was the next day Jamie sent the money. I called Ola, I said, send that 15,000 to my photographer's account. Mr. Matthew, let him go. That I might not be there, but let him just capture the pictures. Then when he comes, we can do a story, at least 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20 pictures, we tell the story. And he left. Good enough. By 10 a.m., I got an alert from Mr. Jamio, who was magnanimous enough. He's now he's an SA in Aso Rock now, to the vice president from foreign affairs, you know. So he sent me some money, and I said, okay, since I have this money, let me go to the IA too. So I went to the garage in Ojota there, and I boarded the bus around 11, and we got to Ore around 5. By the time I got to the IA, it was after 6. In fact, I got to the venue, and they directed me to the house, the family house, and I got there, and I saw him and his brother. All of them, they were getting into the car, going for the waykeeping, and when he saw me, he was shocked, because my photographer told me that when he got there, he was greeting him, he didn't want to sign him. And when I got there, his mood lightened up, and I was happy. We covered the event. To the glory of God, that night, he was able to secure a hotel for us at what they call that place, Okitipupa. It's like 35 minutes away from Ode Aye. Now, the next day was the burial. And when we finished the burial in the evening, my photographer was asking, how do we do it now? Do we go and meet this man so that he can give us another hotel? I said, no, this man, he won't give us a room, but he has used us, he has finished using us, so let's find a way to go. And to God be the glory, we followed a vehicle that brought food for Chief Mrs. Toyin Kolade. She's a socialite, you know, she's the Yalaje of Odua or something like that. Right now, we followed the vehicle, the bus that brought food. We got to Lagos around 1 a.m. We got to our various houses around 2 a.m. or after 1. You see, that is how good we sacrifice, and that was one of the red signal too. That was December 2015, and I thank God. 2016 came, then around February we started YouTube. It was another dream. We decided, because at that time we were spending so much on blogging, and let me even tell you how and who gave us the idea to start who pushed us to start the YouTube. Of course, we had the intention to start YouTube, but there was one great man, and may God bless his soul, may God bless the life of his children, because Prophet Tibetan has come out to say, oh, he did this, he did that. He even came out in a video to say he bought us a camera. No.
You are going to, he normally sleep 2 days, 3 days. Hanging here a whole 24 hours. Me still busy. I will still create time to grant interview to him so that he can flourish, he can feed his family. That is all. He's not giving me anything from it. Even the camera he started with and everything is from here.
Must be Dumos.
He never, he's not that kind of person that is friends with giving in terms of money and all that. In around that 2015, after the burial of his mom, we took the story, I spread it as usual. I did what I could do. I put it to sleep people, I think, and I put it on my blog. I didn't mind. In fact, at that burial in Ode Aye, there was a young man that was lamenting. He's the son of Oyadejobi. He's on the social media, you can find him out. Oyadejobi is on the one that they call me guest care or something like that. He sings, he's an actor. He was in Tibet, he just met Tibetan. I don't know how they met each other. He told me that Tibetan told him to do CDs for his mom, a tribute CD. And that the moment he take the CD to the Aye, that unlike Mama Migon, this guy went to borrow money from the bank. I don't know, maybe from somewhere, not the bank actually. He borrowed a lot of money and did so much duplicates. He did the CD in large sum. And he brought it to the Aye. To the biggest surprise and disappointment, nobody bought the CD. He was practically begging everybody with the CD that night during the wake-up. He was practically, and he came to lament to me. And I told him that night, I said, look, my brother, please, whenever someone like you, like this, tell you anything, always do soul searching. That's what I told him that night, because he was practically embittered. He came with his band boys, and they had to sleep. They didn't even get a hotel to sleep. They had to sleep somewhere in a happy, shady environment. In the sharp, shady environment. So the next day, he was thinking that they're going to give him a chance to perform. I think one band came from his church, True Glory. And the guy was thinking, okay, if he even perform, people will spray him. But another surprise, the second disappointment, they didn't allow him to perform. It was Mrs. Toyin Kolade, to the glory of God, that bailed that guy out with 15,000 when he was broke. He couldn't live. He had no money. He couldn't sell those CDs. They were as good as useless, and he was owing in Lagos. Ó yá owó láti ṣe púpọ̀ láti ta Tibetan sọ pé ó máa tà báwọn èèyàn máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní dù. wọn ò dún kankan because ebi ń pa àwọn èèyàn then ta ló fẹ́ gbọ́ ewì torí ẹnìkan ta ló káràmásìkí mi ò mọ̀ bóyá I don't know if his mom is popular or she's not popular. I don't even know her. All we just did was that we went because of him. Now, that boy came back home, and that was the end of his relationship with Prophet Tibetan. You can find him out. I don't know where he is now. Megeskia Onyadejobi's son. I have forgotten his first name. Very handsome guy. He almost sings like Yinka Ayefele too. He's a singer, he's an actor. I think he released a film recently. He was disappointed, not to talk of what his wife even said. You know, a lot of things. The wife of that boy, that guy. Now, we came back and I think Tibetan he went abroad and there was this Dr. Dapo William, which I learned was introduced to him by Dr. J. That is Dr. J. Johnson Olukotun. You know, fantastic man. I'm looking for his number right now. I don't know where he is, but there's another story on him. And one day Tibetan was in London and I think this Chief Dapo Williams, very good man. In fact, one of the best human beings that ever passed the planet of this earth. One of the best human beings that ever passed the planet of this earth. He was a building forensic expert. He was into building. He's a forensic expert in building technology. He was well known to the Queen of England. Then he was introduced to Tibetan. And along the line, there was a friendship. He used to take care of him, took him as his prophet. Even when he died in August 2001, everybody was shocked. That's Dr. Dapo Williams. But Dr. Dapo Williams did something. One day, they were in London and he asked Tibetan that he wanted to talk to me. And he collected the phone and he said, "Oh, young man, I enjoyed the way you do your interview on your blog. You are so extensive. You use so much pictures. You interview the people, they see you, you engage them, you ask very interesting questions and all that. Why can't you transfer it to a TV thing or a mobile television thing so that everybody can enjoy?" And I say, "Doctor, we are thinking about it, we are thinking of it because we're in the business of thinking that we want to do it, but television, airtime, you have to spend your life out, you have to do all this, you have to do." So he said, "Oh, so what do you want to do?" I said, "Well, we are thinking of a lot of things, but with time, we will know what we are going to do." So after that, the doctor got across to me and we started talking. Every time he called me, in fact, the first thing he wanted to do, he wanted to send shoe to me and shirt. And as at that time, that was the time Chief Obasanjo's books were banned. The book My Watch. And one day, Dr. Dapo was in London. He was in his store in London, and he called me and said, "Can you shoe sizing, Mr. Sabi, can you buy and the shirt sizing?" And I told him, I said, "Doctor, hey Joe, Emma, this is the book." Yes, what Dr. Dapo Williams sent to me. And I told him, I said, "Sir, Emma ra, Joe, Emma, mi tebali ba mi ra ìwé Obasanjo ton ban in Nigeria." I was like, "What did I say?" I said, "Sir, if you can help me buy Chief Obasanjo's book, that I want to read the book that they say is selling in London, but they banned it in Nigeria before Chief Obasanjo went to court to lift the ban." And to God be the glory, the doctor changed his mind and he gave me the book. I'm looking for his, I think it's in the third book. You know, he got the book for me and he sent them to London. He sent them to Nigeria. Three volumes. These are just 2 out of the 3 volumes. Dr. Dapo Williams sent them to me by courier, by DHL, and I was so happy. And one thing Dr. Dapo Williams would tell me, anytime he send anything to me, he say, "Ejo, referring to Prophet Tibetan." So I started having a kind of feeling that, okay, does it mean that this man also does it mean that he tried to step people down when things are coming to people? But I just took it off. So when we wanted to start blog, naturally, Dr. Dapo Williams spoke to me and I told him that, well, we just we need a camera, we need this, we need that. Now, Dr. Dapo Williams was like, okay, we should just move it from, writing, from the texts, to the motion, He enjoyed reading my blog. A lot of people enjoyed the blog then. Even one of them is my very good friend, Oloogun, and a lot of other people. But Just that Williams, being the kind of person he is, he wanted it ahead. So he was the one that suggested that we should move it from writing text to motion. Yes, the first time I spoke with him, it was in company of Prophet Tibetan and Dr. J, because I later learned that it was Dr. J that introduced, I learned that it was even Dr. J that repackaged Prophet Tibetan in year 2002 and brought him fully back to London and integrated him with a whole lot of high-profile people. So one of them is Dr. Williams, and when he sent the Obasanjo book to me, the volume, like I said earlier, he just said I should keep it to myself, that if he gives me anything, I should not release it, that I should not tell the information to Prophet that is giving from his heart. So, but I still try to thank him, and I used to use innuendos in those days. I would just put it on Facebook. I said, please, everybody should pray for the person who did this to me. So when I told him that we want to go on blog and all that, but we are still constrained, we are not financially buoyant and all that, he decided to send a camera. And that was around that same 2015, or no, 2016, I think early 2016, yeah. He sent the camera because he sent it through, I think at the time he sent it through General Moma's office in Abuja, my late friend, General Sam Moma, former Minister of Science and Technology. And that camera is a small camera he sent to me with a tripod. This is the camera, this is the first camera. He gave it to us, Dr. Dapo Williams, may God bless his soul. This is the camera, this is the first camera we are using to record. It's just a kind of a picnic camera, a camcorder, and we're enjoying it. We are recording with it. We are trying our best, and I don't know how we were able to manage those times, And we started because I believe in starting small. We started small. This is it. It's a Sony camera actually from Dr. Dapo Williams. This is the pack, this is everything that came with it. This is just a camera. There's a camera. I've even forgotten how we operate it. It's a good camera, but very manageable, and we appreciate him for that. And before his death, he also sent me a laptop, Acer laptop. He sent it through a friend in Magodo, G.D.A, and that was how we started the YouTube. But because the camera is small, we used to rent other cameras in those days, because look, where will Prophet Marcus get the money? There was no money anywhere. He was just struggling. He said he made me. It was the other way around. God used us to discover him. God used us to bring him to the limelight. God used us to promote him. But it was because of our own gratitude, the kind of approach we gave to him. Everybody that knows me, many people ask, who I've worked with, they know that my number one concern is not about money. In fact, there was a day I was interviewing my very good friend and my big brother, Mr. Femi Adesina, inside Aso Rock. I think it was the year 2001 or something. I was in Abuja, and it was the third or second time, I think the third time in Aso Rock, interviewing him. And he said something. I've been interviewing Mr. Adesina right from when he was the MD of the Sun newspaper in Kirikiri. I used to go to interview him in his office. He talks about the media, about young journalists, about media leadership and all the rest. So I was talking to him in Abuja, and he said something, and that thing rang the bell. And I very much appreciated him for that statement. He said, I know a lot of journalists around. They have high hope, they have so much, they offer so much, but they don't do their job. But Asabe, I can say to your face that you do your job. No matter how either you are appreciated or you are not appreciated, you do your job. And I do my job. You can ask from people that have come across me. You can ask from Chief Dele Momodu. You can ask from Dr. Shayo Kendi, Chief Dele Momodu of Profession, Dr. Kendi of City People, Dayo Adineye of Primetime Africa. You can ask from Mike Awinfa, the veteran himself and the godfather of tabloid journalism in Nigeria. You can ask from any other person that would have sent me or have come across me, that I will never trade creativity for anything. I look at the big picture. I believe that I cannot be bigger than my job. and I will never be bigger than my job. Let me shock you. In year 2016, something happened to me, and that's where people like Prophet Marcus gambled, and they gambled and they fumbled. May God forgive him. May God Almighty forgive him for the lies he told and all these things he said about me. In 2016, I was doing PR for a lady, and that is the national woman leader of the APC at that time, Ajia Ramatu Tijani Aliyu. She was introduced to me by my very big sister, Mrs. Demola Serki, Safia Demola Serki, and her PA is a guy from Kogi. The lady herself is from Kogi. Myself, I'm from Kogi. So it was like a Kogi triumvirate. They used to send story to me. Oh, can you develop this kind of story? We want to put it in the press. This is what we want to say. This is what Ajia want to say. And I will do the whole thing, send it back to the lawyer guy, and he will say, oh, that's exactly what Ajia want to express. Oh, you got it. So how many paper do we put it? And I will tell them. Then we do the logistic, and the little we make from it, we move on with life. At times they want to do advert, I help them design the advert, put the sweet word, put the motivating word and all that, and I push it to them and they say, oh, lovely. Until one day in December 2016, and let me tell you, at that time I just started my blog. We are not even up to 1,000 subscribers because we hit 1,000 subscribers in July 2017. Look at the miracle of God. This young man, I think his name is is it Musa or something, working with Ajia Tijani Aliyu, called me and said he want to give me a breaking news. And I said, what's the breaking news? He said, oh, that I should not tell anybody, that he just wants to tell me that Ajia has decided to make me her chief press secretary. And you know what? I told him straight away, I said, I'm not interested. And he was like, Dana Sabi, what have you just said? I said, I don't think I'm interested. I have people I will recommend for him, that I can recommend people. I have friend in Vanguard, friend in the Nation, friend in the Sun that can recommend, that will do the job better. He said, a job that everybody is looking for. And I told him, I said, look, I'm developing a YouTube channel, and I believe in what I'm doing. I didn't have money, we were struggling then, we were always broke. Before we make our first $100, it will be like 4 months, 5 months, and we'll have owned a lot of camera people, editors, and all the rest. But we was forging ahead, we were trudging ahead, and the guy was shocked. I told him, and eventually they took the whole contract, all the media thing I was doing for them, they just took it away. Maybe they were offended and all that, they were slighted. You know, in this country, big people expect you not to say no. But I used to use my no button, because when I was young, I used to hear his song, and that song is my best song. He says, wherever you go, wherever you be, do not say yes when you mean to say no. So I used to say no. So I said no. But luckily, when the woman wanted to do a second time as national women leader, I think the governor of Kogi worked against her, and I was informed all the intrigues, the media intrigues and interest. So President Buhari compensated her with Minister of State, FCT. So in a nutshell, if I've left my YouTube and went to work with her, maybe I've been a chief president, I'll be living in Abuja, and maybe I'll be working with politicians today. But I said no. In 2021 too, General G.D.A, my very good elderly friend, former DMI boss, may God bless his soul. May God bless his soul. May God bless the soul of General Adewumi Ajibade. His 2 daughters, when they were wedding many years ago, I was one that handled the press. When he was the DMI boss under General Obasanjo, he was living in number 6, Gerard Road, Ikoyi. I handled the PR for his first daughter. Then when he was out of service, the second daughter, I also handled the PR. I brought the press over. The Alaki of Egbeji was just newly installed then. The occurrences of Agbadibo, he came for the wedding somewhere in Ikoyi there that we did. So he also called me in 2021 that I want to start a military magazine. I'm going to be the editor, blah, 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 blah. I called some of my friends at Armed Forces Radio in Abuja. They should come. One of them will resign. But I said, I can't leave my blogging job. And that became where we couldn't agree. Till he died, I'm very sorry. I couldn't pick his call for some time because it was like, I'm the one that must do it. And I couldn't leave what I'm doing. I love my passion. So going back to Tibetan, we were doing a lot of things for him. So when we got the camera, we started doing our thing. And he was just one of those people who were interviewing. And are you going to say, we've interviewed a lot of people in the past. If you look at all the magazines, before I met Tibetan, I've interviewed a lot of people. Will he compare himself to General Jembewo, or to Senator Oji Okado, or to Honorable Abike Dabiri, or to the late General Sam Moma of blessed memory? or to Senator Gbenga Kaka, or to who again, or to Her Excellency Hajia Dr. Miriam Abacha, in terms of content, in terms of engagement, in terms of talk, in terms of pedigree, or to even Primate Olabayo that used to interview in those days, go to his place, or to Kojo Williams, who is a very fine, fantastic guy. But you see, when you are doing this job, you meet a lot of people every day. So Tibetan was one of those people we ran into, and I met him, and we started doing everything we could do. We started promoting him. He was talking tough, and we love it. It was almost, we took him as an ombudsman because we felt that he could use his truth to heal the church, especially the Celestial Church of Christ, where a lot of dirty things is happening. We felt he could use the truth he's saying to heal the society, especially in Nigeria, where the politicians are almost like, they don't even care for the citizens. They're almost like the harbingers of the woes of the people. So we felt we met a man who claimed to be a saint, who claimed to be truthful, who claimed to be sincere, who claimed to be honest, and we kept moving on with him. He's not a giver. He's not good in giving money. I will shock you. He's always talking about the limousine they gave him since 2014. Do you know, for like 2-3 years he parked the limousine in one neighborhood there until the fourth they said you should come and take it away. The limousine was just there for like 2-3-4 years. He has now relocated the limousine to somewhere in Ota, near Sonaburi there, at an event center. He parked it there. Now, that is who he is. He will rather carry all the relics of those things he acquired. Maybe that's why his name is Korodili. Wọ́n fẹ́ kó gbogbo àwọn ọ̀rọ̀, gbogbo mọ́tò tó fún ọ àti limousine àti gbogbo ẹ̀. Wọ́n fẹ́ kó délé, wọ́n fẹ́ kó lọ sóde ayé. And nothing bad in that. That is who he is. Going back to what he said, that he made me, he didn't make me. Yes, he said I brought a lot of people to his church. Well, it's part of it. But let me now give you a shot. Let me tell you why we have to reply him now. You see, we have to reply him to also check him, because he has gone astray. This is not the Tibetan we met in year 2012. From 2012, we did a lot. We started packaging in 2013, 2014, 2015. Now, in 2017, let me also tell you how I left City People. It was Prophet Tibetan himself that told me, he gave me a vision that I should leave City People. Why? In those days, before I left City People, I used to push a story there. I used to give them the story about low. But you see, he's not a sincere person. I don't know why. Most of the time they won't use the story. So I used to give him feedback that they didn't use the story, but they used some, they didn't use some. We used to supply his story everywhere. I put it everywhere because I believe he was my project. I believe he's my project, and I should not let him go down. I was not collecting a dime. So before 2017, I was freelancing with City People, and I was doing my YouTube. And the little money from freelance as a contributing editor, I was using it to augment. Now in January, he told me, if you want to so need more no problem. So I just stopped. I didn't talk to the publisher again, because why? One of the reasons is that most of the stories I submitted in those days, they were not being used. Some stories you just ask why are they not using it after the whole effort. I remember I submitted Daradina's interview that year, I think January, and they didn't use it. And I was like, if I will submit story and you won't use it, what is the essence of writing so much? I was a prolific writer. I'm a prolific writer. I'm going to show you something now. If I check into this library, there are a lot of tapes. I have more than 2,000 tapes, but I'm going to show you a bit of it that I just packed for this broadcast. I don't throw away tapes. I will show you who I am, a bit of me today. These are tapes of interviews I've done. This is just 5% of tapes. You see, these are tapes of interviews I've done. I don't throw away tapes. I keep tapes. Here you are going to see interviews of 20 years, 15 years, 17 years, 18 years that I've done of people, big people, celebrities. I don't have energy to bring everything out. This is just a part of it. I just want to show you what it means. Even the old midgets, one day I'm going to do a broadcast to show you some of these things. This is just a bit. I don't throw away tapes. These are tapes that I used to use in those days. Midget. Several midgets. So for someone to now come and tell us that, oh, he's the one that made us, he's the one that brought us to journalism, the South Africa even started from him, you know, this is just a bit of what we do. This is just a fraction. This is just 5% of tapes. This is just 5%. A day we come, I will bring a huge basket of tapes. Since my days in fame in year 2002, up to when I stopped newsroom journalism in 2016, I have tapes loaded. That I don't throw away tapes. Now, back to what I was saying. He told me to leave City People, and that was how I left City People, because I felt slighted a bit that most of the stories were not being used. That's the only thing. Shekende didn't owe me any money. He will never owe money. He gives you as little as he can. I was not a staff of City People. That's number two. I was only a contributing editor. I was never a staff. Nobody owed me any backlog salary. It was a pure big white elephant lie. And may God forgive the prophet for telling this kind of lie. Now, when I left City People, we were finding it a bit difficult. So, and let me tell you what Prophet Tibetan does. It is his own first. He will tell you, go and put it there. Oh yeah, log basi, come and wo. Tete log basi, shoti lo interview yen. Oh yeah. He is the one that will tell you, oh, I want to talk on this. Can you bring your camera tomorrow? Oh, I want to also talk on this. Can you bring your boys next tomorrow? At times we will go to his office. He will delay us for hours, as long as 8 hours. At times we have to come back the next day. We keep rigmaroling, trying to appease him as if we are appeasing the demigod. In fact, we've chased him for a whole week. Not once, not twice, not thrice. So in 2017, it was a very interesting year for us. 2017 to 2018, things were hard, but we put our effort. Know the kind of person I am. So in most cases, when he sees us, let me say we will have run like 10 interviews, 10 church programs on our channel. Then he will tell us that interview to Shela no so igba lo ma gbe yen si. Then I will say, daddy, I ma gbe si konjeka an afe. Yeah, no, jẹ́ kí n fún ẹ lówó there. Jẹ́ fún ẹ jẹ́ one kan fún ẹ. And that jẹ́ one kan fún ẹ is just a check of 20,000. He will never give you beyond that. And we can actually count how many times he did that between 2017 and 2018. Then we say jẹ́ one kan fún ẹ. Then in jẹ́ one kan fún ẹ, that check you want to sign, he is going to be on it for like 3 hours. He will sit down there and say, Olola, jọ̀ọ́ bá mi mú chẹ́ẹ̀kì First Bank yẹn wá. Then tó bá ń bọ̀ lè tún gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ tébù mi kó tún mú ti UBA náà wá. Then títí Providence Bank yẹn mú yẹn náà wá. Then when the guy bring the check, they say, okay, I'll give you your money, don't worry. Then say, then wàá sáré lọ sínú yàrá mi níbi ẹgbẹ́ bed mi, wàá rí ti GT Bank. Then kó tún mú ti Wema yẹn náà wá. All what he's trying to do there is to sell himself to people in this office at that time that he's a rich person, that he has so much checks, he has so much account that what you are giving him does not matter to him. Then in doing that, he's also using your own predicament to sell his image. Then he'll be telling stories about how he started since 1969. He has already been saying that you were born in 1960 and you said you have started your job in 1969. Then in between, you said you sold Google, you sold Egbeji, you've done boxing, you've done security, you've drove him all the way, you've done a lot. Mo ti ta Google, mo ti ta ẹ̀pà, mo ti ta ìpín, mo ti ta ẹran ìgbẹ́, mo ti gúnyán, mo ti ja ìṣẹ́, mo ti ṣe security, no problem. So he will now be telling all those stories, telling what he said. Then when he said that, the Molo say, no, don't worry, my friend, I'll give you money. Then all the checks are dancing in his front. Then he said, that no, don't worry. Then after he has talked, this one has come. Hey, oh yeah, ẹ wá mú ilé lọ sódò kó lọ wẹ̀. Ìwọ lọ ṣiṣẹ́ lọ pé ìyá Ìbejì wá. Then he used you to genuflect. He used you to sell himself. I don't know what he want to gain with that. Then after like 3 hours, then you say, then when you're going to say, no, why, check it. Then you write the check. Then it looks as if he's giving you a huge money. Then he gives you 20,000. They say, we counted how many times. It was nothing to write home about. It was once after like 12, 15 times that you have done enough. He will never give you anything tangible. He will give you when he knows that it has to do with you going to broadcast what he just said that I want the people to hear. Yes, he was a good truth sayer. He said it the way he's supposed to say it. Even recently he said something on Portable. I supported him 100%. What he said on Portable and Celestia is 100% truth.
Then I call wàásù nípa ìfẹ́ pé ẹ ṣọ́ra yín ẹ̀yin yúùtù ọ̀dọ̀ yín lèṣù máa ń gbé o nígbà tí èṣù máa kúrò lọ́rùn wọn ní èṣù òde gba freedom kó tó máa lọ lóhùn ní ìdí ẹ̀ wọn náà bó yẹ kí wọ́n fún ẹ ládírẹ́sì ibi tó máa dé sí ó ní kò ní ìdí o ti lọ sáyé rí náà olóòtú ń lọ náà ń lọ náà nìyẹn ok o níbo ló dẹ̀ fẹ́ dé sí ọlọ́run fẹ́ dé sí ìgbà àyà àwọn youth kan níbẹ̀ ni o ti bá àwọn youth sọ̀nà nínú tó ń bá ti gbó kòkòrò dání tó ti gbélé dání tó dẹ̀ tí mọ́bìnrin dress tó ti tọ́mú ẹ̀kan ti yọbọ́ tí yọ tó mọ́ pé àwọn àwọlé and really dàárọ̀ yìí àwọn olóńpa bàbá wọn àwọn youth àwọn olóṣèlú ok tí Portable bá gorí orí pẹpẹ ń bẹ tẹ́mi bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí lò tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí gbó bí ajá ṣé kò parí ìjọ ẹ̀mí ló ń bọ̀ á bá tiẹ̀ pàdé
ìjọ ẹ̀mí ló ń bọ̀
ẹgbẹ́ ẹ̀rìn ṣàìsẹ́dà kó reduce ọjọ́ ayé ẹ̀ àbí kó gbọ́jọ́ ọkú ẹ̀ nìkan ní méjèèjì yẹn ni ọ. So ẹni tó bá mú sẹ̀lẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìjọ ẹ̀mí á rí tiẹ̀ ṣe nínú sẹ̀lẹ̀ o ṣùgbọ́n tó bá mú ní ìjọ tí jẹ́ ká lọ bẹ̀ ká lọ mú ìyàwó jẹ́ ká lọ bẹ̀ ká lọ dàbẹ̀rú jẹ́ ká lọ bẹ̀ ká lọ ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ tí ẹ̀mí mímọ́ bá mú ẹ ó dàbí ẹni tí ó ní wárápá tó tún lọ kọ́ wrestling ní patu masters ẹ̀ ló lọ ṣe yẹn ọjọ́ tó bá dẹ̀ wá ní ìjà bẹ̀rẹ̀ tí wárápá bá dẹ̀ ti ta sí tí ọmọ pé ẹnìyẹn ti gba bẹ́ẹ̀rẹ̀ ó ti gba okùn ó ti lọ́n tiẹ̀ nígbà tí wọ́n wò wọ́n lẹ̀ tí wárápá yẹn ò release ẹ̀ fún dídí 1 hour wọ́n láti náwó ẹnìyẹn sókè kó jà dúró tì í ni ó ti win àbí kò ti win so ẹ fi Portable lẹ̀ kó má ṣe làwùlàwù tiẹ̀ iná ọparun àti iná ọparun àti iná pákó ìkan lágbára jù méjèèjì o kó má débẹ̀ ló ti dà kó má lọ bẹ̀.
Must be doers.
Only that the person that is saying the truth, who is that person? Can we rely on him? Can we trust him? Okay, so those were those times. And when we went through those times, the last time he gave us a check was sometimes in 2019. We stopped taking those kind of monies because I told my guys we have gotten to a level. That was around 2018. So I think in 2019 he said, we should celebrate his father, we should interview his father, blah, blah, blah. That was the last check. He gave us a check of 60,000. We should interview his father, go and edit it and put it there. But good enough, I didn't use that interview because by the December of that year, somebody abused him. There was one daily Ogundipe Genesis who came heavily on him, said some dirty things about him, that things that were unfounded. And I told him that don't worry, because I was with him. I give him advice. We are not just writing stories for him. We are not interviewing him. We are even doing PR for him. So I told him not to answer. Let me answer, because it was my project, and I was the one that came out. I defended. I took Dele to cleaners because I knew Dele to. But I read it from the book of S.P. Joshua. I told him what it takes to be a Celestial, and I let him know that what he was doing was wrong. And to God be the glory. The musician he brought to his church, as the musician was going that day, car killed some people in that church. So I tried to save Prophet Marcus' head so that people will not misjudge. I stood in the gap for him. All this thing he's doing with me now is because there are a lot of stupid people around him. The person that is running his 12-star, they're all stupid. They're all a bunch of scallywags, including Benjamin. Benjamin needs help because they won't give him the right choice advice. And you see, Yoruba said, they said, Oloogun Japa Were, but àwọn people yóò lọ́gbọ́n gidi. So àgbà ti dàbí ọlọ́mọ ẹ̀ka gba máa ṣe èrè. Tàgbà tó jẹ́ kó bá máa parọ́ mọ́yàn, those kind of things. So that year, eventually we didn't take anything. Then let's come back. Then something now happened. The second leg of it is that he now started saying something in 2018. He will come to me and say, oh, Benga, I want to tell me today. And I'll be wondering, Tarayin did like how? He said it the first time, he said it the second time, he said it the third time. Then he came one day, he said, wọ́n ló ti tara mi dìde gan, wọ́n ló ti tara mi dìde. Mo dẹ̀ sọ fún wọn pé, ẹ mọ àwọn tó ti tara mi dìde nígbà mo ta mọ́tò, àwọn èèyàn pọ̀ tó tara mi dìde. And I was like, what is this man saying? Tarayin dìde. I am a journalist. I created a platform. I'm celebrating you on my platform. I'm celebrating others. Yet you are fighting me for celebrating others. Okay? Then you said, only mo ti tarayin dìde. So, when he discovered that I was not listening, I was not getting the message. Then he went further. He said, wọ́n ní òun fi mí pawó pé gbogbo interview òun fi mí pawó ni ipò yẹ kó jẹ́ pé ó yẹ kí channel yẹn gan yẹ kó jẹ́ pé àjọ máa pín owó yẹn ni. If I lie, may God punish me. This is Quran. This is the Holy Quran. This is the Holy Bible. This is the Holy Quran. This is the Holy Bible. If I lie upon Prophet Marcus on this matter, may God punish me. This is the Holy Quran. This is the Holy Bible. These are the most recent book in the world, the Holy Quran and the Holy Bible. He said, wọ́n ló yẹ ká jọ máa pín owó channel yẹn gan ni, wọ́n ló yẹ kó channel yẹn gan kó jẹ́ ti church. Then anytime I come, then he will start telling stories. Ọmọdé mi, ó máa rò pé òun gbọ́njà gbà lọ, kò dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé ayé lòun bá gbà. He will be telling me stories. He will be telling stories of how somebody borrowed 2,000 pounds from him. The young guy told him he's going to take him to abroad. Let me take him to abroad. Then he borrowed the guy the 2,000 pounds. Then the guy went abroad. Then after some years, he went to see him. He went to London and he saw the guy. And the guy gave him 2,000 pounds to give to his mom. And that when the mom came to collect the money, he now told the mom that, oh, tí mo fún ọmọ ẹ, mo gbà padà lọ́wọ́ ẹ. You know all those kind of stories that don't add up. You help somebody with 2,000 pounds, you didn't tell him that you borrowed him, then you went to London some years later and the person now gave you the idea about fún mama mi and you didn't give the mom, and now told the mom that owó tó ọmọ yẹn fún mi nígbà yẹn ni mo gbà owó mi ló fún mi padà o. You know, and my mind will telling me that can you connect, is this a man of God? What is he saying? Then we be saying all sort of, he be soliloquizing. Then one day he now told me, wọ́n ní pé yẹ owó channel ó yẹ ká jọ máa pín ní ó yẹ kó jẹ́ pa ó jẹ́ church ló ní. Then I now told him, that was sometimes 2018, I think, June or something. And I told him, I said, Daddy, I said, sir, number one, àwọn tó ń sọ irú nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ fún yín, olórí burúkú ni wọ́n. I said, because èmi ni mo ní channel mi, olórí burúkú ni wọ́n. Then number two, sir, wọ́n ti kú ọkọ̀ ọ̀bànújẹ́, Ọlọ́run ò ní jẹ́ kẹ́ gbé mọ́. Then number three, tí n bá fẹ́ hùwà mi fún yín, ìwà mi gangan, mi ò ní interview yín mọ́, màá fi yín sílẹ̀. Káwọn olórí burúkú wọn kọ́ kámẹ́rà kan máa interview yín, tó ń sọ orú nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ fún yín. Then I now told her, I say number four, olórí burúkú wọn, Ọlọ́run dáríjì mi, nígbà tí mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní interview yín ní 2012, tí mi ò ń gba kọ́bọ̀ dèní, tí mi ò ń gbowó lọ́wọ́ yín, mi ò ń gbowó kámẹ́rà, mi ò ń gbowó editing, mi ò ń gbowó anything lọ́wọ́ yín, mi ò ń gbowó production. Mo ní ṣé wọ́n lè ṣerú ẹ̀ tí wọ́n ń sọ̀rọ̀ sí torí pé wọ́n rí pé àti subscriber wa ti increase àti end a lè sanwó staff comfortably wọ́n wá ń sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n pò yín nú pọ̀. Mo ní sà ẹ má yẹ kán pò yín nú pọ̀ o, àwọn èèyàn wá dá. Even General Obasanjo in his book to his wife, bittersweet, he said people spoil good things. So Tibetan was listening to a lot of people. He was listening. Anything money, he's so sensitive to money. If there's any weakness that man has, is money. He's sensitive to money. Owo. And I told him, and you know what? He stopped saying those things to my face. Then he started saying it at my back. Asabe fi mi powo, dollars not to pa náà, òun kó wá, òun rí. And I would just pretend as if I didn't know what is going on. But I was still promoting him. I was doing what I can do. And let me also tell you, I am the first blogger that started this thing, looking for people to say vision. And I'm the first blogger that started interviewing people. And I'm the first one that we put their phone number there. My phone number is not on the channel. I put their phone number. Why? Because I want them to benefit. I want people to relate with them. If they relate with you, if you give them what they want, if they dash you anything, if you earn anything, it is between you. It's your own good luck. I don't come and say Daddy for me commission or Daddy for me come. Ask the children of Egbeji, Oloogun. Ask the children of most of the men of God I've interviewed. It's between them and the public. My phone number is nowhere. I don't even say, oh, contact me so that I can now put you to them. Some people do it. Some people do it. They will put their phone number. Then if you want to talk to the prophet, they tell you to give them something. Or they tell the prophet that I don't do that. I'm not that guy. I'm not wired that way. I'm not treated that way. I'm not that kind of a guy. I grew up to understand the purity of life. I don't monetize kindness. I don't monetize truth. I don't monetize good deed. If you have something good to say that is going to heal the world or change the society, I don't monetize it. I do it free. But Tibetan took a chance. He was not satisfied. He was always talking about money. Then at the time, he wanted to take the channel. He started planning towards how to take the channel. And everything he was doing, I got to know. I noticed. He was desperate. He was doing a lot of things. But I didn't talk. Then, when we met him, he had nothing. That church, it was a bush. The small church was there. Nobody came to help him. Then we started talking about him. Then later in 2020, he said he wanted to do a cathedral.
Jésù Kristi. Ó sọ fún wa pé ibi tá a bá ti fẹsẹ̀ wálé pé ó ti ṣiṣẹ́ ẹ̀bẹ̀ tán. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni o. Ọdún tá a wà nú ẹ̀ yìí. Olúwa. A fẹ́ ṣe ọdún nínú cathedral yìí. Àwọn tó máa lò àwa náà la wà níbí. Gbogbo ọkùnrin obìnrin ọmọdé àgbà tó ní èrò blọọkì kan tó ní èrò ìṣó ẹyọ kan tó ní èrò headpan ẹyọ kan Olúwa fún ṣe. Ọlọ́run mẹ́ta lọ́kan Ọlọ́run wá fún ṣe. Nígbà táwọn ọmọ Ísírẹ́lì wọnú oko ẹrú lọ Genesis 15 from verse 12 to 14. Only I'm the one that took them there. And at my own appointed time, I will bring them out. He's even establishing us to even build a cathedral for us. By year 2003, when we started, Father finishes for us. Amen. At every segment of the building, Father, make yourself available. Amen. You are our Father. You brought us to this place. You say you want to be here. We should worship you here. Father, give us the power and the strength. The cameraman, the list, and everybody here. On the day of the commission, we will not stand 1 minute silent for us. Amen. None of us will die. Amen. We brought these people here, Heavenly Father, to come and even appreciate what we are doing in our midst. As you are appreciating God here today, the Lord will surely appreciate you. Amen. We will not die. Amen. We will not borrow. Amen. All the people abroad are members of Celestial Church, who are members, a friend and family of Elijah. As Asabe and the family, we will do your christening here this year in Jesus' name. Amen.
I was the guy that wrote the letter. I acted as the church secretary for them to open a cathedral account at that bank, Sterling Bank. I still have the letter, a photocopy of the letter till today. I wrote and we started the account to start the cathedral. I myself that wrote for the opening of a cathedral account. God blessed me. I was able to put 1 million naira for the cathedral project. I gave 1 million naira and a lot of people brought in money. We didn't just stop at that. We did a video. Not once, not twice. We put the church account, just a video of the cathedral. We did a kind of documentary showing the cathedral, showing the purpose for which the money is needed, and we put the phone number. But still, the prophet was not satisfied. I mean, he started doing a whole lot of things. He started, I started noticing a lot because he came out to say, oh, it's because of Tinubu. Oh, because I supported Tinubu. Hey, that's why Asabe is fighting me. Now, let me now go to what happened. There are a lot of other things. I will remember some in the course of this course, but I've told you some. Now, the whole thing started in year 2021. Year 2021 is a very interesting year. And one thing about Prophet Tibetan is that when he needs something, he tries to work to get it. Even all the YouTubers that are working with him now, with time, they will see the real color. I'm not ashamed. In fact, I don't regret one day. The best decision I took was leaving him. The best decision we took was leaving him. Stop doing anything with him. In 2021, I think God decided to give him a memo. It was God that gave him the query What happened in 2021? He has made so much money. What did he do again? He even bought 2 land on his church. He used one to build what they call Elisha guest house. Then he wanted to use one as a garage for visitors. Then he was contemplating buying another church property. The blessing was so huge. People were turning in. And anytime these people come around from London, from America, from Canada, I don't even try to see them. He will tell them, and when you come to guest house, I don't see them. Any of you that came to Tibetan church in those days that see me, you see that I always keep afar because I know our people. The moment you go and see them, they will say, Sabi ain't gonna want toro. I don't do that. It is you and the prophet. We sold something to humanity. If the thing is good, good. If the thing is bad, we say no, it's bad. So in 2021, God sent a prophet to that church, in the person of Prophet Shayo Adebayo. And all of you that are abusing Prophet Shayo Adebayo today, God Almighty forgive you. You don't know what God have used that man to come and do. Prophet Adebayo came to the book launch, but before he came to that book launch in February, that was February 5th, 2021. Before he came, I think he has always come around. I don't know what he came to do, but he has come around to some of the midweek services. But he came to the book launch, and that was the day I noticed him at close range. When they gave him the microphone, he went out and picked the book, and he said some very lofty things. But what caught my attention was the prophecy he gave. He gave some very fantastic prophecy, and he related to some prophecy he has given some years ago that manifested. And I told my guys, I said, look, we need to talk to this man. I've met people like that in Tibetan's place. I've also brought a lot of other people. Now, I said, look, we have to talk to him. And when the man went to sit down, I went to him to take his phone number. He even felt reluctant giving me his number. I don't know. That's Prophet Adebayo. He was feeling reluctant, but he gave me. Then, after the book launch, as usual, Tibetan traveled abroad. So, as usual, he traveled out of the country after the book launch in February, and we started chasing Prophet Adebayo for interview. And it was then it became clear to me that Prophet Adebayo was a busy person, and he also had his own church. I didn't even know, because March, April, May, June, it took us 4 months. We call him, we tell us he's in Oroke, you tell us he's Badura. Then I'm like, okay, this man is a CAC man, I don't know much about him. But sometime around June, we were able to get him, and he told me, he said, Shelly, what's the church meaning? Ejigbo. And I was like, mi ò lè wá o, Saima bínú mi lè wá, tẹ́ ẹ bá lè wá sí studio, mi ò rò pé mo lè wá church yín o, tẹ́ bá máa wá studio. And to God be the glory, the man humbled himself, because as at that time, it was only Prophet Tibetan we gave that privilege of going to his church. And many times we go to his church, he ridicules us. He will not grant interview at times. He will just get mad. He will say, "Sure." At times you come like 5 minutes late or 10 minutes. He will say, so he will not say, "So on time yìí, àárọ̀ yìí mo ti solve problem for ní Germany, mo ti solve for ní London, I'm a physician, mo ti digest gbogbo problem wọn ní Switzerland, everywhere. Ìwọ ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wà ń bọ̀, ṣé màá wá gbéra mi kúrò nú ẹ̀mí, màá wálẹ̀ fún wọn." Oh boy, he might train, and he was doing that. He did something near to that in 2018, and I got very mad. At the time in 2018, I just yanked him off. But because I listened to some wisdom somewhere, I have to forgive and go back. But this time around, Prophet Adebayo, I now gave him an appointment in June. He came to the studio. And we interviewed him in June. We just interviewed him. And around that time, Prophet Tibetan was in town. Then he was going back to Dublin and all that. Then as usual, he wanted to talk. He will be the one to call us to come and talk on something. Then when we come, he will just become angry. He will just keep us waiting. He will not talk to us at time till evening, till night. Because he said it in another video that, whenever I come, I'll be talking about people. Then he will tell me to go and wait.
Asabe is not a good person. I know from the beginning. Because when he's with me, he will be spoiling other people's name. So when he now started all those things, I will just tell him, go and wait for me at Baba Ye's parlor. Let me do my normal job, praying for the people. When it's time for interview, I will go there. Because I see him to be a rotten food.
Eat your food cannot fire with you.
Ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ rántí bí Àṣàbí ṣe ń fara nulẹ̀ bí láyé ọjọ́
You
yẹn?
know, Asabe was rolling in the
Tó ń
floor.
sáré káàkiri bí headless chicken.
He was running at the skaters
Bí
here.
headless chicken.
Bí adìẹ tí ò ní gbé.
Èló ni ìyá tó bí Àṣàbí fi jù mí? Ẹ̀rọ nígbà tí mo ń bèèrè lọ́wọ́ nínú fídíò pé ṣé o fẹ́ ṣe politician? Gbogbo nǹkan máa ń ká ẹ lára ju ẹnu ṣọ́. Má kó bá mi rìn síwájú. Má kó bá mi rìn síwájú.
Move forward.
Must be doomers. Must be doomers. Must be doomers.
That is a very big, huge lie. It is he, Marcus, from a Tibetan, that talks about everybody. I don't have time to talk. I only come to take the interview and go. Then if he say he sees a vision, he will call me that he has seen something, he want to relate it out. Then I will go, and I don't take money. Instead, I was doing a lot, even in the church. I was doing a lot of things in the church that he didn't even know. Sometimes put down money for toilet and all that. Put down money for some other things, development. So in June, when we interviewed Adebayo, we just kept it. Then he said we should come and interview him. We went there. First time he disappointed. Second time. Then I think the third or fourth time, that day was traveling out. And as usual, we came. He said we should go and put the camera. Then we were waiting. Then one of my IT guys, one of my camera guys said, ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ bá bàbá ká bẹ̀ wọ́n èyí alẹ́ ẹ̀ ló ń travel. If this man go, we won't get him. And I just told the guy, I said, if you want to job, kó tó dé màá ti bá Olimi sọ̀rọ̀, because I was pissed off. And I didn't know that thing I said was prophetic. One of his members were in the room where I was saying it. I wanted a politician with his wife. They had it, but I didn't even give a damn. And I was like, I said, sit down, don't go to his office, don't go and beg him. We are not going to Kauto today. So after like some time, he now came out from his office. He said, hey, where's Asabi? I will give you 50 minutes because my flight is in 2 hours time. I will just give you 50 minutes. Then that's pretty, my spirit now told me that look at this guy. He's behaving like a pot. You know, a pot. When you make a pot, ó ṣe bí amọ̀ tó ń fa alámọ̀ ṣakọ tó ṣe kálámọ̀ máa fọwọ́ ìdọ̀tí nǹkan ṣe mọ̀ tó alámọ̀ bá bínú á gbé amọ̀ yẹn á dẹ̀ fọmọ́lẹ̀. The spirit was telling me pé ìwọ la lò tá a fi gbé débi tó dé, ìwọ náà ló tún fi ń ṣakọ, ìwọ náà ló tún fi ń palẹ̀, kò burú. So when he came, he sat down. We granted the interview. After 50 minutes, we took our cameras, we left. He went for the airport. Then as he traveled, I put Prophet Adebayo online. Bam! The first video, it was massive. I never knew Prophet Adebayo had that kind of grace. I never knew that man too has a share in doing it. And you know, when Egbeji was alive, Egbeji was one that had that kind of followers, and Tibetan was fighting the man. In fact, before the man died, Tibetan told me that he's going to die. He told me in fact, few weeks to his death, he said, I was like, and I couldn't tell the old man because I was thinking the old man should be spiritual enough to know. He was telling me, and he was always fighting me on Egbeji. And do you know the irony? I will call Baba Egbeji and give him phone to greet the Baba. He say, Bami, Akimi, Bami, their language, we talking in their dialect, Ondo dialect. Greet the man, be enthusiastic, he be feigning friendship with the man, laugh with the man on phone. But every time he was hitting me. He was even preaching it in the church. That how can interview? I don't know the kind of journalism he wanted to practice. Is journalism not for everybody? I didn't know why he was fighting Egbeji. Because eventually after Egbeji died, there was another man, a traditional man that we met, that we interviewed, Shegun Aladikoyi. That one died mysteriously. In fact, it was the second interview we had with him. He died, and it was then I started asking why. That one is from his side too. In fact, from his side, very powerful, very gifted, very gifted, very gifted, very gifted. His death shook us till today. But what we heard about the whole thing is shocking. If we decide to release the voice notes, the interview, Tibetan will not be able to walk on the streets. They will stone him. And it's evil. Why do you do that? So, when we released Prophet Adebayo's interview, bam! It was mysterious. People followed, people watched. In fact, that month, the any we have never made in our life, we made it. And it was that same month we made our award with YouTube Academy. You know, the award is inside there. That award. Okay, now let's go back to. I will show you the award. That was the month we made. We succeeded. We earned that award. Adebayo changed a lot of things. So suddenly Tibetan now started calling me from Dublin. Then he will call me. He will do video call. He will greet my wife, greet my family. Then he will let me see his house in Dublin. Hey, all the children will give me hey. Then I was telling my wife something is wrong. Oh. He did it first time. He did it second time. He did it third time. And then I was like something. I told my wife that I'm going to share because all he does was to back. We call. She was gbé kíní yẹn sí tètè lọ gbé kán tún máa wò yẹn lọ tètè gbé sí ó ti gbé yẹn sí ni ṣé o ti gbé Sunday service yẹn sí gbé yẹn náà sí now. This time he was calling, was being friendly, and I was like something is fishy. Then the 5th time he called, he just called me. Gbenga jọ má lọ interview boy Ṣẹ́gun yẹn mọ́ jọ má lọ bá wọn ò ní ìdánilẹ́bà sọ̀rọ̀ ò ní ìdúró àwọn èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ lórí channel ẹ jọ má jẹ́ kó bá channel ẹ jẹ́. I said Ṣẹ́gun wo ni ẹ sà ìṣe bọ́ Ṣẹ́gun tó ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn kì í ṣe wòlíì náà kò lè quote bible náà ṣó ń quote bible ni kì í ṣe wòlíì èmi wòlíì lèmi máa fún ẹ time máa fún ẹ date máa fún ẹ ní gbogbo nǹkan tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ jọ máa kó bá channel ẹ jẹ́ má lọ bá mọ́ o ní ìdẹ àwọn gbẹgbẹ bẹ́ẹ̀ lórí channel ẹ àwọn èèyàn gidi wà tí máa introduce ẹ sí tó máa bá sọ̀rọ̀ jọ please jọ. I said yes sir. You know, initially in this blog I told you that the rise and fall of Ode Aye has taught me how to deal with narcissists. So I said no problem sir. Then he called me second time. Hey man, he called me again. Boy yẹn jọ má lọ bá mọ́ o ní díẹ̀ o ní dúró àwọn bẹ́ẹ̀ o ní ìdè máa kó bá channel yẹn jẹ́ channel yẹn ti lọ ju gbogbo yẹn lọ o ti lọ ju yẹn lọ you are now in Africa on well everywhere jọ. I said gbogbo sir. So I called Prophet Ṣẹ́gun Adébáyọ̀ the next day. I said sir ẹ jọ̀ọ́ tí bá ti ń bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ máa quote Bible. That one just say yes sir. That one didn't know what is going on, and that one was always praying for Tibetan, wishing him well. That one Tibetan didn't introduce. He said it in a video that he's the one that introduced me to Adebayo. That is a big lie.
He listened to the word, what the people are saying. What's he doing with Shayo? What can Shayo find? Báwo ni ẹni tó ń fi nǹkan tọrẹ, ẹni tó ń ta lọ́rẹ, wọ́n fẹ́ tà mí lọ́rẹ. Ṣẹ́gun ò ní ibi iṣẹ́ náà, kò ní ilé iṣẹ́, kò ní visa London, kò ní visa anywhere. Orí òkè nìkan ló ń forí ilé tó bá ti kúrò máa forí ilé lórí òkè. Kí làṣàbí fẹ́ ṣe? Ọmọ ọdún táṣàbí ti wà ń bí ni. Ìrora ràn lọ́wọ́ dọ̀la, kó tètè yé kó tó kọjá. I'm a true prophet of God, tested and confirmed. But Shayo was just trying to. He came here. I'm the one that introduced him to Asabe. He lied and did all this. I never remember. How can somebody be telling me? When Basimo Walali Mosho Lon ti wá gbàdúrà lọ́dọ̀ mi. Ẹ̀mi ò rántí money. Was he here just looking for his way? But if the actor of a film has not died, can the film stop? But one day Shayo will learn. Asabe too will learn. You know what I'm saying? Even when he has been coming here without buying a car, without having a car, everything. But God has been helping him.
Èyí tí wọ́n ń pè ní must be domos.
Even Benjamin also said it in a video that it was Adebayo that came to Tibetan, that begged Tibetan that he wants to be coming out on me, and Tibetan now told him to go and meet me. That's a very huge, terrible, unfortunate lie.
Ìdẹ̀yìn ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ni prophet tún padà wá sọ́dọ̀ MKO Tibetan Dr. ńlá the professor of prophecy. Ó ń sọ fún bàbá yìí wípé ó ní ẹ jọ̀ọ́ èmi náà fẹ́ ká yóò mọ̀ mí bọ́n ṣe mọ̀ yín, mo fẹ́ kémi náà ó dìlú mọ̀ ká. Wọ́n ní èmi ò ní tí mò ń ṣe o, èmi ò ṣe nǹkan òkìkí o, èmi ò sáwọ́rò bí mo ṣe wà yìí ni kí n sòtítọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ kí n wí kóńkó bọ́lọ́rọ̀ bá wù kó bínú bọ́lọ́rọ̀ bá wù bẹ́mi ṣe ń sọ tèmi nu. Ó ní rárá bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ lòun sọ. Òun fẹ́ kẹ́ introduce òun sí Asabe Africa kí Asabe náà máa gbé program òun jáde káyé lè mọ̀ òun. Wọ́n ní èèyàn ló wá ń torí ẹ̀jẹ̀ kí lọ́ọ́ bá Asabe ọmọ rẹ náà làṣàbí ọmọ dáadáa ni lọ́ọ́ bá sọ̀rọ̀. Ó ní mo gbọ́dọ̀ kọ́kọ́ gbàṣẹ lọ́dọ̀ yín, wọ́n ní kò ní ìdí àṣẹ lọ́ọ́ bá ó sì lọ́ọ́ bá Asabe.
Must be domos.
It was me that took Adebayo's number when Adebayo came for the book launch on February 5th, Saturday, 2021, and I pursued him journalistically. So I told Adebayo, I said, Emma, quote the Bible. He said, yes, sir. Then Tibetan called me like 3 months time, making 5 times, warning me not to go and interview Adebayo again. It was so serious. And I said, yes, I didn't argue. You know what? I arranged another interview. I interviewed Adebayo the second time. And I put it on my channel. Bam! Then this time around, he now came back from Europe. He just traveled down. Bam! This is 2021 though. He traveled down. Bam! So when he saw that I didn't stop Adebayo, that I went for a second interview, he came back from abroad. Then this time around, he will now start calling me. Hey, Benga. Tó bá di Monday kó wá, máa fún ẹ ní 1 hour. Wàá lọ load ẹ̀, wàá máa wò yẹn lọ. Tuesday kó tún wá, máa fún ẹ another 1 hour. Wàá tún load ẹ̀, wàá tún máa wò yẹn lọ. Wednesday, tá bá ti parí ẹ̀sìn àánú, àfi ṣe town hall. Àjókòó, máa sọ̀rọ̀, wàá tún fẹ́ níbi 2 hours, wàá tún lọ gbé yẹn sí. Thursday kó tún wá, máa tún load ẹ̀ 1 hour. Friday, wàá tún wá, máa load ẹ̀ 1 hour. Then Sunday, wàá tún gbé yẹn náà sí. Then I was like, okay. So it's now a competition, abi. So we normally go, we will go. Then he will delay us. In fact, there was a particular one. I think it was month of 2021 and on. It was, I don't know. He delayed us for almost 2 weeks. He was resuming, leaving, resuming, leaving. He did not will leave. I will be the one to go and meet him. I said, Daddy, it's schedule after he say, oh, mommy. One thing about Tibetan is that when he's angry with you, you can't see it on his face. His anger is not scripted on his face, but he will make sure he messes your day. Then he will do some other things to you if you are not careful.
Hallelujah. Adeno yẹn máa lọ sí gate. Lọ dúró sáàrin gate. Lọ dúró sáàrin gate yẹn kó wà ń bẹ̀ títí 4 tó o bá fẹ́ kú kóòtù tó parí. Lọ dúró síbẹ̀ kó máa gbàdúrà sórí ara ẹ̀. Quick. Lọ dúró sáàrin gate ibi tí mo tó ń gbà wọlé. Wà ń bẹ̀ títí 6 alẹ́. Kí ó lè kúrò lórí ẹ̀. O ti rúgí oyin already. Hallelujah. Then nínú ìrìn àjò wa, it takes us. Ìwàásù ń lọ gbégi kúrò lọ́nà. Ta ló kọrin? Ta ló ṣe anything? Tẹ́ ẹ bá fẹ́ ṣe yìí ṣe ẹ lọ́lé. Tá a bá parí cathedral yìí tán, a máa rówó san sálárì. Ọlọ́lá tó wà ń bí òṣìṣẹ́ ọ̀fẹ́ ń gba sálárì. Ìyábẹ̀jì ń gba sálárì. Wọ́n lè máa gba sálárì. Everybody gba sálárì. The little we have, we give to them. Now, no matter today again, what is it? If they are not comfortable, they are comfortable in a little way. Then you don't need to even give us any headache here at all. We didn't deserve. I think that, but we are moving to 27. We don't want it. Because mistake in 27. We don't need any mistake here. Fair John B. Fair Paris Ejo. Fair sorrow. No, fair. Anytime Paris Ari. Why? That's all. One beg, quick over jail. We don't beg somebody to come and eat. No, unless you're sick. Unless you are about to share. Then when you get on Goku, it's okay. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Bàbá àwọn gẹ́gẹ́ bí àdúrà kan gbà fún yín àìṣe wọn yín lára. Àmín. Ẹ ṣé bàbá wa. Sà èmi náà rìnà sí ṣe rí àwọn ọkùnrin tó ń bọ̀ lójú ọ̀nà yẹn ẹ má ṣe pè fún wọn. Ọmọkùnrin kan ṣẹ̀yìn ẹ gbéṣẹ́ fún ó ń bọ̀ lójú ọ̀nà ẹ má ṣe pè fún un ká àbálẹ̀ rí láyọ̀ àtàlàáfíà.
Ó lè ní kábà.
You will not, if you are not strong, if he's angry, there will be vibration. And he's so jealous and he's so envious and he cannot manage success. May God forgive him. So, this time around, I didn't stop. Then, Adebayo didn't know what's going on. Adebayo was oblivious. I think he was just trying to do his own thing. People were reaching out to him. Then, Adebayo, on the 2 or 3 occasions I interviewed him, he tried giving my guys money. I said, no. Severally, we took out in the pocket. I want to give my guys. I said, no, that man, then the man felt bad. Then he said one day, asked God that, what kind of journalist is this that interview people and promote them, he does not collect money? And that then God told him something about me, which I cannot divulge here. So he said he was shocked. So In between the time I interviewed him, a lot of people started calling him because, as usual, I put his phone numbers there. And people that he has prayed for 25 years ago, 30 years ago, 15 years ago, on OK Epimi, on OK Oloogun Kole, on OK, what do you call it? Alashepe, on different OK that I used to pray. They started calling him back. Baba, mo ti wá yín ti pẹ́, n tẹ sọ nǹkan yẹn ó ti ṣe. Canada mo wá, daddy, ṣé mo lè wá ní Nigeria, Australia mo wá, daddy, and nǹkan ti change, nǹkan tẹ sọ yẹn ó ti bọ́ sí, daddy, London mo wá. They started coming to see him. Then with time, people from Tibetan too started coming to see him. Because he is a different prophet. I can call him a crack prophet. He's gifted, and his own is water and some beneficial graces. He has beneficial grace upon him that you cannot define. He has this kind of grace that you can't define. That's Adebayo. Now, people now started giving him gifts. Those that are buying him cars, those that are giving him money, those that came to furnish the church, those that are doing a whole lot of things. Some went to his mountain to go and decorate the place, majemo, covenant things. Then I think Adebayo is a different episode. It's not like Tibetan. He started feeling guilty conscience. He wanted to appreciate me. Unlike Tibetan that I did a lot for in 10 years, I built a cathedral, bought 2 property, bought 2 land on the streets, and even built a guest house. That, in fact, my baby, my child, my daughter, Tibetan gave her money once. All the time we knew him, 10 years. And how much did he give her? He gave her 2,000 naira. The second time when we took my daughter to go and greet him, he came back from Dublin, he gave her only 2 gala. You know, he gave her once 2,000 naira. Even me myself, yes, there was a time he brought one small shoe. He said one woman, there was one good woman that sent a wristwatch. The woman met him through my channel, and she came from Switzerland. I think she sent him, he gave me the shoe, on the tennis, like I've not even wear it, and the wristwatch and one jeans. And maybe twice he brought some shirts, those shirts bus corner from abroad, and he will throw it to you. He will throw it as if you are hungry. I can show you those short sleeve play round shirt, vests, not even shirt, So, but Adebayo is a different ball game. I've never seen that kind of guy. Let me tell you, I've been doing things for people. There is a man, the first man that gave me a bicycle many years ago. That is Government Nigeria Limited, Oregon. Mr. Esebelmi is an Edo man. He's the first guy, he's the GM then, that gave me a bicycle when I wrote the story about their company. That was the first time they gave me a bicycle. Not to talk to someone giving me a car. Most people are not grateful. Majority of our Nigerian people, no matter what you do to them, especially in this media, is a thankless profession. But now, something now happened in November 2021, November 12th. We went to Adebayo's house. He got a new apartment somewhere very close by in an estate. And he invited us for an interview. By that time, Tibetan had started doing a lot of things on the ground. But we didn't know. He was trying to take over. He was trying to take us away from Adebayo. Now, I went to Adebayo's house. It was a Saturday, 12th November. And when we got there, we put down our equipment and we were to start the interview. And he said that he want to ask me for something. I said, Kini yes, sir. He said, Jo Baba, over very color. I said, Ebere, sir. He now said, hey, Jo, Emma come along. I said, Daddy, Ebere. He said, Jo, Emma so pay for me, Jo, you may bring color. I said, Ebere, sir. So he said, hey, Jo. He now said, hey, Jo. I now said, sir. Now say, hey, they do it for me like I can't see. Now say, no, Daddy, no, I can't be, no. He said, Joe. Àwọn èèyàn ti ta mí lọ́rẹ gan-an. Èmi náà gbọ́dọ̀ ta yín lọ́rẹ. Ẹ̀yin lógo tó ń bomirin ògo mi, mo gbọ́dọ̀ bomirin yín. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́, ẹ má ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. I said, no, Daddy. I can't even really fún yín. The man was angry. He was disturbed. Then he stood up. He went into the room and bought a bill of, I think, 50,000. They gave my guys 3 of them. That and when he was giving, I said, Daddy, no, any day, say, "Tell bad day, my buying down, my buying the show." Báwo mo ṣe ní fún yín lówó? Àwọn èèyàn fún mi lówó, wọ́n tọ́jú mi. Báwo mo ṣe ní tọ́jú yín? Then after that, he now said, I said, mo ń fún yín lówó, gbà. Mo tún ní kẹ́ fún mi lákàntì, fún mi. Bóyá tí wọ́n gbé mọ́tò fún yín, tún kàn. I was like, gbé mọ́tò fún mi. When we were coming into the house that day, outside we saw a car, a Ford. They just parked it there. They've not taken a plate number. Somebody bought the car for him. I think he was yet to take a plate number. So he now said, so I just, one of those things. So we finished the interview, we left. And next year, January, that was January 2022. That was last year. We started chasing him for an interview, but he was busy. I think he had a lot of prayers on mountains. People came from abroad, different kind of covenants, breaking prayer and all that. So we now were able to meet him on 25th. It was a Tuesday. The month was almost gone. So when we got to his house, we set the camera, we set everything to start the interview. So when we got to his house, we set the camera and we were about to start the interview. And as we were just expecting him, suddenly he came out from the room and he just said, mo tún ní kẹ́ máa káàtì yín wá tún gbà kọ́kọ́rọ́ mọ́tò yín rèé o tó bá wù yín kẹ́tún kọ́ yẹn náà. And I was like, what's going on? And he said, ẹ gbà lọ́wọ́ mi jàre, ẹ gbà lọ́wọ́ mi. So what did we do? I was like, I was shocked. So he handed over 2 keys to me. One was the spare key, one was the original key. And he said, oh yeah, my boy, lọ gbé mọ́tò yín sálẹ̀. So we got downstairs to the garage side, and lo and behold, the car there was that Taurus, Ford Taurus that we saw on Saturday, November 12th, when he asked me to give him my bank account that I rejected. And I was like, Daddy, Taurus ni star mi as a bet. Báwo lẹ ṣe mọ̀ bí Taurus ni mí? Tẹ́ wá fún mi ní 4 Taurus. And he was like, èmi ò mọ̀ Taurus ni ẹ̀mí mọ́ ló sọ pé eléyìí ni kẹ́ gbé fún. Ẹ̀mí mọ́ ló sọ pé eléyìí ni kò gbé fún. And I was like, Then I told him, I said, Daddy, I gbọ́dọ̀ record there. He said, no. He was reluctant. I said, no, he does not want to record it. I said, no, Daddy, you need. And I told him, I said, nínú adẹ́tẹ̀ mẹ́wàá tí Jésù wò sàn, ẹ̀yin nìkan lẹ padà wá dúpẹ́. I was referring to that story in Luke, where Jesus healed 10 lepers and only one came back to say thank you. And I said, it is a must that we go back so that my cameraman can capture it from upstairs. So I encouraged and I almost forced him, and he got back upstairs to the house, and I told him to represent the keys to me. Then the cameraman followed us downstairs to the car, and I gave a vote of appreciation near the car. I told the world that, I'm seeing this for the first time, that this is the first time somebody is giving me a car, dashing me a car. The first time somebody gave me something like this was a bicycle, sometimes in year 2003 at Fame, when I was working at Fame magazine. And this is almost 19 years after somebody is giving me a car on the 25th of January 2022. So I was so filled up with happiness. And after the whole thing, what he said was that ènìyàn kọ́ ló nípa, Ọlọ́run ló nípa, ènìyàn ò nípa o. That was what he replied, that it is only God that has the power, no man has the power. Ọlọ́run ló nípa, ènìyàn ò nípa o. And we went back to finish the interview, and later he called his driver to come and give me all the particulars, everything that pertains to the car. And after the interview, he personally directed how I took the car out of the garage, and I drove a car home. I called my wife that I'm bringing a car. She should prepare the smaller gates in my house because the bigger gate has a very high hill. So in the evening, as I was parking the car, Prophet Tibetan called as usual. And when he called, it was as usual. He said, eléyìí tó record ní àná yẹn ṣó ti gbé sí. He was referring to I think the Sunday before. Okay, it was a Monday. I think I recorded him a Monday before that Tuesday. Ṣó ti gbé sí. And I was like, ṣiṣẹ́ lórí ẹ̀ àmà gbé sí ìrọ̀lẹ́. He said, tètè lọ gbé sí. Wọ́n fẹ́ wò ó London, wọ́n fẹ́ wò ó l'Amẹ́ríkà, tètè gbé sí. And I was like, Daddy, nǹkan kan má tẹ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ lẹ́ni. He said, kí ni? I said, something happened today. And he said, what? I said, ẹ mọ̀ Prophet Shayo Adébáyọ̀. He said, kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? I said, mo máa lọ lé wọn, mo lọ interview wọn. Wọ́n gbé mọ́tò fún mi. And he was like, And I said, wọ́n gbé Ford fún mi. He said, ó dáa náà, àjọ ń fara wa gòkè náà ni. As he was saying it, his voice was going down. And almost immediately he lost enthusiasm, and I could sense it from where I was. So that passed by, and from that moment, he built this very sour spirit towards me. And I think that Sunday that followed that week, he announced that he's going to do his launching the following Saturday. Within that week, communication was very bad between me and him. He was not too enthusiastic as usual. So a day before the book launch, which fell on February 7th, Saturday, I went to him on Friday, February 6th, and I was asking, because the books was not near finished at the publisher's office. So I asked him, I said, Daddy, ṣé a ṣì máa ṣe launching? And he just flared up. He was like, wò mí. Ṣorí mo ṣe ń wò mí yìí, mi ò gbàgbọ́, mi ò gbádùn rárá, mi ò gbàgbọ́. Mo ti fàdá nàyàn rí níbi tí mò ń gbé. Mo fi àdá nà pẹ̀tẹ̀pẹ̀tẹ̀ àdá, mo dẹ̀ nà dáadáa. Àwọn tọ́lọ́pàá dẹ̀ mo dẹ̀ ni mo fàdá nà, yes, torí ó ṣe ìyàwó mi. Kò sí mo ìwé mi ò mọ̀ ọ̀la, mi ò dẹ̀ náà ní ọ̀la ò jọ mí lójú, kò sí tó kàn mí pẹ̀lú ọ̀la. So wọ́n gbé mọ́tò fún yàn, wọ́n ń fún yàn nílé, kí ló kàn mí pẹ̀lú gbogbo rubbish yẹn. Ṣé o mọ iye mọ́tò tó ti fún mi ní? Àìmọye mọ́tò tó fún mi l'Amẹ́ríkà, ní London, mo ní mi ò fẹ́. Bóyá torí mo ti ta mọ́tò rí, ó máa ń rùn sí mi nì. Tí n bá ní kí n máa gba mọ́tò náà gbà, yóò ní gbà náà. So kí ló wá wà ń bẹ̀? ń gbé mọ́tò fún yàn, wo mi ò gbàgbọ́, he just flared up and he was angry, and I was like, okay, I didn't say a word. I called my partner. I said, look, let's help this man. This man is frustrated already. Let's do the banner for the event. So we sponsored the banner, and I called a friend of mine that is a musician, he's a saxophonist. I said, please bring the saxophone tomorrow. I will pay you so that you can make the event happy. So I left him. So after the outburst, I left, and I knew he was angry. So the next day, I strategically invited Prophet Adebayo. Maybe he was not expecting the prophet again, since the coming of the previous year appears to have been a kind of breakthrough for Prophet Adebayo somehow. You know, people like Prophet Tibetan, they see every little thing as an opportunity to assault. So Prophet Adebayo came the next day, and it was very glorious when he arrived. He came, and everybody wanted to reach out to him, everybody wanted him to pray for them and all that. Do you know that when this man came, that was Saturday, 7th of February, 2022, Prophet Tibetan didn't say thank you. I mean, if you say you love me as your son, till this hour, Prophet Tibetan have never took a microphone or written or say, "O Shayo Bayo to form a minimoto." In fact, that man came to that launching. That man didn't just launch 4 unseen books. He launched. He gave Prophet Adebayo's father 100,000. That was his second coming for book launch. That was Saturday, 7th of February. And that day, Prophet Tibetan would have seized the opportunity to say, thank you, Shegun, or whatever, to form of Mimoto, because they are age mates. They are just age, they appear. The Prophet Adebayo is 63, Tibetan is 63. So he didn't thank the man. He calls the man that boy. Every time you want to talk about Adebayo, you call him the boy here, Shegun, boy Shegun here, boy Shegun here, boy Shegun here. Ibi tí Ṣẹ́gun lè sọ̀rọ̀ níbi táwa ti ń sọ̀rọ̀, who is Ṣẹ́gun níbi táwa ti ń sọ̀rọ̀, ṣé wòlíì ni Ṣẹ́gun ni, kí ni Ṣẹ́gun jámọ́, you know. So he didn't thank him. The mood was so compressed and all that. But I did what I would do as usual. Every year I analyze his book, you know, because of my background as a journalist and as a historian. You know, I take all the prophecies that appears to have come to pass from books like 10 years away or 2, 3, 4, 5 years away. I put everything together, I do analysis, and everybody at the book launch are happy. They want to pick the book, and it gives a whole lot of, you know, push, you know, to that book and all that. And I think 2022 was that year Tibetan himself started nosediving. You know, he started nosediving, and he nosedived so quick. He didn't thank Adebayo. Adebayo left. Thank God, he left. The man didn't get angry. The man, you see, the man is a giver without, I don't know. Since I knew Prophet Adebayo now, at least he has given more than 20 people, both men working with him, even somebody I introduced to him, dash them. People give him, he gives it out. People give him, he gives it out. And when he gives you, he does not even say anything about it. He does not abuse you. Even some of my guys, shoes, sometimes they give me shoes. The shoe Adebayo has given me, nothing less than 6 or 7 good shoes, original shoes. Then he will not just give me alone, he gives to my guys. Share the size in here. As they are giving, he's giving out. To the extent that this Adebayo prophet, because you see, I'm not saying this to praise him. He does not even want my praise. Now, Adebayo at times gives people something to the extent that he himself is broke. He gives to the extent that he himself, you see that he's broke. He's a giver, a blind giver. In fact, I decided to call him a stupid giver at the time because he gave out one car that I was shocked that he could give the car out. People that even buy things for him, people that are sowing into his life, they are sowing on fertile ground. In the church, he gives. You see, you cannot compare with Prophet Tibetan. I will show you a video now where Prophet Tibetan gave a blind man money, a blind man that came to his church to come and beg, that God sent. You know, you can't even know if it's an angel. And Prophet Tibetan was asking that blind man, which church are you going? And the blind man was saying, he said, it's Sele. He said, well, how did you know us? He said that because they said you are the only Sele here. He said, are you going to Sele? He said, yes. Tibetan now said, oh, which parish? He said, in Ondo, when he was in Ondo. He said, so what's the name of your shepherd? The guy said, he doesn't know that they call him Baba. He said, can you sing me 7 victory song? The guy said, he doesn't know. He said, so which year did they find Celestia? The guy said, he doesn't know. He said, you're a liar. You only came here to dupe us, but we give you the money. If you see the way he rubbish this guy.
Must be doers.
Ẹni tó ju ẹ fọ́ tó wá tọrọ ó dẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní béèrè question pé kó kọrin ìṣẹ́gun méje fún ẹ ipe kó sọ orúkọ olùṣọ́àgùntàn ẹ pé ọdún wo ló gbé ìjọ mímọ́ kalẹ̀ ta ló gbé ìjọ mímọ́ kalẹ̀ ẹni tó wá tọrọ bára kí wọ́n kàn darí wá tó yẹ kẹ́ ṣe ìtọrẹ àánú fún kó wọn bá tiẹ̀ lọ ẹ tún bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ẹ tún sọ́dẹ ẹ tún fi pa lójú àwọn èèyàn. It will never happen with Adebayo. I've seen Adebayo in his church how he raised money for people and he put his own money and it does not go. In fact, there is a lady that I'm doing a case for, that I'm helping, a woman that is under depression. Her man maltreated her with 2 children. I've sent her to pray with Tibetan. The last time she went there, she cried. Tibetan washed her, spoke, even cursed her. You know, when she went to Adebayo, on 4 occasions, Adebayo gave her 50,000 and prayed for her. Then at another occasion, when she was having challenge with her shop, Adebayo dashed her 250. Then on the last occasion, when she had problem with her house, Adebayo gave her 450,000. And that's the money she has used to pay for her rent till today, and she was able to stabilize herself. Adebayo has helped people that at times I just tell people go and pray, and they will say, I'm shocked, the man gave me money, I've never seen that kind of character in my life. And he dashed me a car, and Tibetan couldn't say thank you. All the Tibetan was saying that Shayo kì í ṣe prophet, Shayo kì í ṣe wòlíì, ta ni Shayo? Who is Shayo? Níbi táwa ti ń sọ̀rọ̀, níbo ni Shayo ti ń bọ̀, ta ló mọ̀ Shayo? And I started wondering, I started looking, and I said, okay, is this why you are fighting everybody? And in the peak of the whole drama, one day he called us. He said, he's not even talking today. He wants to just have a meeting with us. He said, àwọn èèyàn bínú sí ẹ gan, wọn inú wọn ò dùn, ó ń gbé mi pẹ̀lú àwọn èèyàn tí ò tó mi. Èmi, do you know why they are watching your channel? I said, I don't know, sir. He said, because you talk to the oracle. I am the oracle. Èmi náà fẹ́ gbọ́, èmi náà fẹ́ rí. Ọ̀rọ̀ mi náà fẹ́ gbọ́. Oh, ní ìdí gbogbo àwọn gbẹ́gbẹ́gbẹ́ yẹn. And I said, Daddy, ẹ jọ̀ọ́. Daddy, tẹ́yìn náà bá ń wẹ́ntì, tó ń gbéyàn kan wá lójoojúmọ́, dàbẹ́ ń wo AIT, dàbẹ́ ń wo channels, tó ń gbéyàn kan wá lójoojúmọ́, ó máa sun yín. There is beauty in variety. Mo ní sà, mo ní ẹ̀yin lẹ ṣì máa jẹ́ olórí wọn. Mo ní ẹ jẹ́ káwọn náà jíṣẹ́, kẹ́yìn náà jíṣẹ́ tí yín. Tó bá yá tíṣẹ́ tí yín bá jẹ́ bí ti Olúbàdàn ṣe jẹ́, tí ti Aláàfin ṣe jẹ́ ní January 2022 àti ti Ọọ̀ni tó ṣe jẹ́. Mo ní ẹ̀yin láyé máa tẹ̀lé. Mo ní ẹ jẹ́ káwọn náà máa sọ, mo ní táwọn ò bá sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀yin ò lè níyì, tẹ́yìn nìkan bá ń sọ̀rọ̀, tẹ́ máa ń sọ̀rọ̀, tẹ́ ń sọ̀rọ̀, kò sí yìí ń bẹ́ẹ̀. I try to encourage, I try to educate, but he's just hot-tempered and he will not agree. So that was how Adebayo blessed me, and it became a challenge to Tibetan. Tibetan couldn't handle it. He couldn't handle it, and that was the beginning of the crisis. Now look at what happened. Suddenly he traveled out after the February debacle. Then he traveled out in March. Then I didn't do anything on the card he gave me. I waited the mail. I didn't know Tibetan had some other ulterior motive. Then in May, I did a video on the car. I thanked Prophet Adebayo because it was my birthday month, and I used the car as a contact of appreciation and gratitude to God. And I thanked Adebayo. The car is a Ford Taurus by my star in Taurus, and I said, well, it's a gift of Taurus. So I didn't know Tibetan read meaning into it. Do you know, in that May, Tibetan tried a strategy to take my channel. He has always said a lot about my channel, blah, 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 blah. Then in May, there was one Alagba in London. I think he's one of the top guys in Chicago. I don't want to mention his name. I will give him the privilege of that honor. This guy is one of the parishes that opened in Chicago, CCC. So around May, I think it was May 20, Tibetan wanted to do his launching in America. And the guy just called me one day. I have it recorded. If push come to shove, I put it out. The guy called me one day. You can imagine. He just said, Alagbenga Epele. Then I greeted him as Epele sir. He said, hey, Joe, Baba fe go live. Ẹ fún mi ní password channel ní Asabi Africa. And I said, sir, kí lẹ sọ yẹn náà sir? He said, ẹ fún mi ní password channel yín so that Baba lè go live. And I said, password channel me. Just like that. I said, sir, number one, ṣé máa wo channel mi dáadáa? He said, yes, a máa wo. I said, number one, channel mi a kì í ṣe live. We record, edit and post. Ètò ẹ̀pẹ̀ wo channel mi dáadáa ẹ ti mọ̀. Then number two, password tẹ́ ń béèrè yẹn mi ò ní lọ́wọ́. Àwọn technical staff mi ló ní. Tó bá máa ṣe irú kan bẹ́ẹ̀, wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ mi ká lè ṣe. Then number three, bàbá ti popular, ṣe zoom fún wọn. kẹ́ ṣe Facebook wọn kẹ́ fi ṣe Zoom pé tẹ́ bá dẹ̀ ṣe èyí tá bá lè record bẹ́ẹ̀ àríkọ̀dẹ̀ á lò lọ́dọ̀ wa or tẹ́ bá lè record ẹ̀ fún wa ẹ̀ fi sínú flash wọn mú wá sí Nàìjíríà á lò. And the man was like okay baba ló ní kí n gbà á kálẹ̀ mi ṣe pé I said no kò lè work. How can you tell me to give you my passport or my channel so that I will just hand it over? It's like telling me to give you my bank account or to hand over my PIN to my NIN or whatever to you to have access to my account. And I was like, whoa, these people are desperate. So that went by. Then he came back in June. He has already registered his church in London in June 11. He registered Elisha Paris CCC. So when he came in June, he granted an interview. He started with the Tinubu, the presidency thing, and he's also busy telling you that I'm against Tinubu, blah blah blah. Well, if I'm even against Tinubu, if I have an opinion, but he's the one that is playing games. He's not sincere. He came back in June and he granted an interview. I'm going to use some of those interviews. You're going to see them in the video. The last interview I had with him was 30th of June. I will segment it in this video, part 1, part 2, part 3. You will see it. Now he came back and the primaries of APC was 6 and 7. It was very tense. I think the PDP did their own in April. On June 6th, he called us for an interview. And I will show you in this video. The first prediction he gave was that the primary, the winner is going to be Tunde Bakari, and they will put the Senate president. What's his name? They will put the Senate president, Ahmed Lawan, to deputize him. And that's the person that is going to emerge as president and vice president. And that the next person that they think favor is Rotimi Amechi, Minister of Transport. He didn't see Tinubu. He was so sure. That was June 6th. We're interviewing him June 6th. That was the whatever. Let me tell you, I have more than 10 interviews that Tibetan gave predictions that didn't come to pass, that we didn't use just to help him to bury his shame.
Then tó ń bá fà á lórí ọ̀rọ̀ sábílíkèétì ẹ̀ láyé ọjọ́ yẹn ó lọ sí Ondo tó bí ẹ̀mẹ́rin tó lọ ń bẹ ọba Ondo kó bá òun bẹ Gani Fáwẹ̀hìnmí tí Gani Fáwẹ̀hìnmí ò bá kú ibi tí Tinubu délé ni kò lè débẹ̀ because àwọn yẹn máa di òtítọ́ yẹn mú bí wèrè then ṣé wọ́n rán wa pẹ̀lú aláìsàn ni wọ́n fún ààrẹ bèrè question tó bèrè ṣé aláìsàn lọ ní ká kó jọ Tinubu tó ń rọrọ òkúta lé orí ọwọ́ ẹ̀ tọ́wọ́ ń pọ̀ bí ẹni tó wọ G.D.A ẹtún ló tọ̀ lé ẹtún mú bọ̀ ẹ ṣe ra dáìpà fún mi lẹ́kọ́ máa lọ sí ibi tó ń kọ́ àwọn gúrúpù sí ibi táwọn arúgbó ń gbé ó lè ní owó láti travel káàkiri Nàìjíríà ó ti lè wà nú àkọọ́lẹ̀ pé máa travel gbogbo Nàìjíríà.
He's used helicopters to land.
ẹ̀sà olówó ẹ̀ ló ń ná ìgbà tí Buhari tí ò tiẹ̀ lówó láyé ọjọ́ yẹn wọ́n gbèsè helicopter wọ́n dẹ̀ rán agbádá fún so I worry sir ẹ jẹ́ kó máa ṣe tiẹ̀ má bí mi ó lọ́ ambition ni.
A long time ambition.
Long time ambition. Sori bó ti gbéraga ní Abíọ́lá àti Tinubu ta ló smart jù. Wọ́n bèrè òṣèlú wọ́n bèrè question lọ́wọ́ mi. Àṣàbẹ́ màá tún jẹ́ èrò burúkú o. Mo ní láàrin Tinubu àti Abíọ́lá ta ló gbọ́n jù ta ló smart jù.
Abíọ́lá sir.
Ó dẹ̀ ń dárúkọ Ọbásanjọ́. Wí bèrè lọ́wọ́ Tinubu apààyàn. Tinubu tó ń ba tèèyàn jẹ́ Tinubu tó ń balẹ̀ onílẹ̀ ó lè ní kó wá àfẹ́gbẹ́ Olúwa wá sùn àwa gbé Nàìjíríà lè lọ́wọ́ bíta ṣe rí ẹ̀sà jẹ́ ká sọ̀rọ̀ mí gbàgbé kò sí kankan bẹ́ẹ̀ kò sọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ òfo ni ọjọ́ kejì ọjà òfo ló wà mẹ́sà òfo ló wà mẹ́sà.
A lot of people felt that we should give him Nigeria as a
we don't need a lot of people to do this justice fílẹ̀ kí ni Tinubu ṣe ń ṣèrè ni ọkọ̀dá dìde wọn ò tẹ̀ tí flag up campaign ọkọ̀ bẹ̀ sí káàkiri tó bá wà bẹ̀rẹ̀ campaign tó bá mọ́ṣúárì nǹkan kí la fẹ́ ṣe sí but mo like Nàìjíríà ṣá torí ìdájì Nàìjíríà orí wa ti gbálẹ̀ orí wa ọpọlọ wa ti kọrí sí north ó lè ní kábà.
Then when he said that we kept it. Then before we publish it, after the primary, Tinubu now emerged. Then he called us again that we should come, that God has just shown him something. We should come. June 9. Then we rushed down. You can imagine June 6. We interviewed him. He said it is Tude Bakari and Ahmad Lawan. That Tude Bakari is the candidate of President Buhari that is going to win. Ahmad Lawan is going to be deputy, or Rotimi Amaechi is the next.
So when you look at what we have on ground now, we should be thinking about seeing the pastor Tunde Bakari is still relevant. Then the then the Lawal. So the two of them can be president and vice president.
Okay, the Senate president, Lawan.
Yes. You know, he's a Fulani man. Yes, so they will not do, if they give it to Bakari, they're going to give it to Bakari. They're going to give it to Bakari. They're going to give it to Bakari. But they should try, they're going to give him dagger to hold. If Bakari wanted to prove as if he's too brilliant with the law, so they put dagger on the ribs.
Then when he saw that the calculation failed, he now said we should come back. That was now 9th of June. 3 days after, 7, 8, 9. So we came back, then he now did a turnaround on Tinubu. Then he started hammering Tinubu. He now started saying, oh, Afenifere should greet him. It's Tinubu, he has shown them. Then he went into hysteria, a kind of hallucinative hysteria about Tinubu, òṣèlú, òṣèlú. Tinubu ń ṣe òṣèlú ni, ó ti ṣe bá, ó ti ṣe dà.
Then nígbà tí Tinubu ti wà ní politics láti kékeré, títí wá di wákàtí yìí, táwọn Òṣìbàjò ṣì wà ní school tó ń kọ́ wà lóòkan. Then àwọn Minister for Transport, Rotimi Amaechi, tí gbogbo wọn convert sí body log láti fi tipátipá gbé Buhari lé wa lórí, ó dẹ̀ ṣeé but eléyìí sani kólúkúlù lọ́gbọ́n tó lè lò, ó dẹ̀ ti bọ́ sí. So what do you think we want to do again? So we congratulate Tinubu in 100-fold. Tinubu ọmọ onílẹ̀ ni son of the soil. But this my brother called Tinubu. Scheme together. And the man who has been crying everywhere, who has failed 3 times, that is Buhari. Then he said, come. I have solution to your problem. God is God. He used Tinubu to make his dream come to reality. Take your Motina, take your Coke. If you want to lead people to Tinubu to get Motina, Tinubu is ready to celebrate. If you are not there, don't worry.
Okay, sir.
So they were all there.
Okay, sir.
And when you look at the margin, is anybody who, even the whole mark they made, the whole of them, shows that Tinubu knows this job. He knows this job. So automatically, if the Lord should give him the job to do, don't worry.
Must be doers.
This same man that said it 2 years ago that Tinubu cannot be president because of the NSAS protest. This is the man that always urged Tinubu to resign and gave him prophecy that he's going to fail, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. And suddenly, because within 2-3 days, Tinubu was able to either buy victory or win victory. I don't know how he did it. Then you changed. You are the one that said it on June 6th. I remember that day. June 6th, it was a Monday. He said, oh, it is Ahmed Lawan and Tude Bakari. That because Tude Bakari is from Abeokuta, from Ijebu, he's going to do it from Abeokuta, he will do it well. Then the next person is Amaechi. Then when the thing played the other way around, then you rush us back to your place on the 9th. I think that was 8, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's Thursday. Then you changed the whole dynamics and you started doing Tinubu. Then you started doing a lot. Then it was that interview you told me that somebody bought a house for you in America. You didn't name the person. You said, yes, they bought a house for you. They gave you a key. Then you started on Tinubu. You started giving all sort of massive campaign. And I count it as that is not prophecy again. That is political analysis. That is political campaign. And that is not ecclesiastical. As in, spiritual, ecclesiastical. And we started looking at you. We published everything you said. But today now you are telling the whole world, oh, I have fought you because I said Tinubu is bad bread. Even the question I ask you, this is the video.
It's another very lovely moment on Asabi Africa TV as we are opportune to speak with the Nostradamus right away, because we've been around early in the week and especially right from on the 6th, then during the election in APC, the primary election that brought out the flag bearer between 7th and 8th, and today is Thursday, June 9th of year 2023, and good enough, what the prophet said has come to pass, because on the 7th he was able to predict that someone will emerge after consulting by God's grace, and eventually the person emerged, and we're here to relate with him and find out. We're asking why is all happening, especially considering some of the editorials in the newspapers and some of the stories in different magazines, especially around the world. For instance, in the Punch, there is the news Tinubu, the article Tinubu's article, 2 desperados running against Nigeria. So, but the prophet said that Tinubu will emerge in APC primary. So, we want first and foremost ask. I want to thank you, sir, for the prophecy. It came to pass. But now, after Tinubu has come on board, what is the next step, sir? As shown by the Lord, because a lot of people have the perception that both APC and PDP gave us 2 bad breads, and that those breads are not too good, and people are not too happy with what happened. But of course, some people, some minorities are celebrating and jubilating. But the truth of the matter is that your prophecy has been vindicated, has come to pass, especially the one interview we had with you on Tuesday, 7th of June, and before the announcement in the night. So what next after the Tinubu election, sir?
Must be doomers. Must be doomers. Must be doomers.
The question I asked you, it was an editorial that defined, a Punch editorial defined Tinubu and Atiku as 2 bad bread. It was not me that said it. And you didn't see anything bad. You only tried to save Tinubu, you destroyed Atiku, no problem. But you said, oh, only, Angel is going to protect him. Everything you said in the book was different. You added, and you now went haywire. Then that was one side. Then the next thing was for him to not take me out of the country, because you know why? He started seeing me as, oh, I'm going to give voice to people like Adebayo, who are going to be saying the real prophecy, why he is doing his campaign. So what did he do? I will tell you now for free.